Welcome to Spicy Lady Sigma Female channel. Spicy Lady Sigma females are not your average women. They carry a unique energy that can both intrigue and unsettle people around them. Their sharp instincts, deep focus, and quiet intensity often come across as creepy to those who don't understand them. But here's the truth. What others label as strange is really a reflection of their exceptional mind and unmatched independence. They observe the world differently, analyze situations with precision, and carry themselves with a confidence that doesn't rely on anyone else's approval. The things they do aren't creepy, they're powerful, misunderstood, and sometimes even intimidating. But that's what makes them Spicy Lady Sigma females. They are unapologetically themselves, challenging norms and staying true to their path. If you've ever felt like you didn't quite fit in, it's probably because you weren't meant to. Stay with us, because in this video, we'll explore the fascinating, sometimes unsettling things Spicy Lady Sigma females do without even realizing it. Trust me, you'll see why being a Spicy Lady Sigma female is something to be proud of. Number 1, they stare not to see, but to dissect. When a Spicy Lady Sigma female looks at someone, it's not just a glance, it's an analysis. Her gaze is sharp, deliberate, and unerringly focused. It's the kind of look that can make people shift uncomfortably in their seats because it feels like she sees far more than she's supposed to, and the truth is, she does. A Spicy Lady Sigma female doesn't look at you to admire your appearance or passively take in the moment. She looks to understand you on a level that most people never bother to reach. Her eyes are like a scanner, picking up on subtle expressions, hidden emotions, and the things left unsaid. She notices the hesitation in your voice, the slight change in your posture, the nervous tapping of your fingers. Nothing escapes her attention. Even if you think you're playing it cool, to her, every detail is a clue, and she's piecing it all together. Your intentions, your insecurities, and even the things you're trying to hide from yourself. What's unsettling about her stare is its intensity. She doesn't look away when most people would. She holds her focus until it feels like she's taken you apart piece by piece. For many, this can be deeply uncomfortable because it exposes their vulnerabilities. They sense she's not just looking, she's dissecting. But this isn't malice, it's instinct. Spicy Lady Sigma females are wired to understand, not just observe. Their gaze is their tool for survival, connection, and sometimes protection. It's how they measure the people and situations around them. So while it might feel unnerving, it's not about intimidation. It's about clarity. And if you're lucky enough to earn their trust, that same stare can become a source of unwavering loyalty and understanding. Number 2, they remember the smallest details about you. Spicy Lady Sigma females have a knack for remembering things most people let slip through the cracks. It's not intentional, and it's certainly not creepy to them. It's just how their mind works. They absorb details effortlessly, often without realizing it, and store them like pieces of a puzzle they might need later. These aren't just surface-level details like your favorite color or birthday. They recall the deeper, often overlooked things, the way your voice trembled during a difficult conversation, a specific phrase you used in passing, or even the exact moment your expression shifted when you were hiding how you felt. This ability can catch people off guard when they casually mention something you said years ago, or bring up a moment you thought no one noticed. It can feel almost invasive. You might wonder how they remember such things when you've long since forgotten. But for Spicy Lady Sigma females, these details aren't just trivia. They're clues to understanding the people around them on a deeper level. What's fascinating is that they don't just remember, they connect. They piece together patterns in your behavior, your words, and even your silences. To them, it's not about stalking your life. It's about truly seeing you beyond the surface. While this level of attentiveness can feel unsettling to some, it's also what makes them exceptional friends, partners, or confidants. They don't just listen, they retain. But their memory is a double-edged sword. If you wrong them, they'll remember that too in vivid detail. They're not the type to hold grudges unnecessarily, but they won't forget the lesson you taught them. This ability to recall so precisely isn't about control. It's about understanding. And for a Spicy Lady Sigma female, understanding the world and the people in it is everything. Number 3, they can make you feel invisible in their presence. When a spicy Lady Sigma female's mind drifts, it's like she stepped out of the room without ever leaving it. She could be sitting right in front of you, nodding occasionally, but her attention has slipped into another world entirely. It's not rudeness or intentional neglect. It's just how her mind operates. She's always processing, analyzing, or navigating through her own complex thoughts, often without realizing how disconnected she seems to the people around her. This mental withdrawal can be unsettling because it's not something most people are used to. One moment she's engaged in conversation, and the next, it feels like she's shut the door to her inner world, leaving you standing on the outside. The silence grows heavy. The air feels colder, and you might catch yourself wondering if you've said or done something wrong. But it's not about you. It's about her need to retreat and recharge in her own space, even while physically present. What makes this dynamic so eerie is that her withdrawal doesn't look obvious. She doesn't fidget or look distracted. She's there, but it's as if her energy has vanished. People often mistake this for indifference, but it's deeper than that. Her mind is a fortress, and sometimes she's just wandering through its halls, figuring things out, solving problems, or simply finding peace in the quiet. This ability to disconnect so seemingly can make others feel invisible or insignificant, even if that's the furthest thing from her intention. For her, it's survival, her way of preserving her energy and avoiding emotional burnout. And while it may seem cold to some, those who truly understand her know it's just another layer of her complexity, one that demands patience and acceptance to truly appreciate. Number 4, they attract confessions without asking. There's an unexplainable force about spicy Lady Sigma females that draws out the truths people didn't even realize they were holding back. They don't have to pry, push, or even ask the right questions. Just being around them seems to crack open the emotional vault of anyone in their presence. It's not because they're manipulative or deliberately fishing for confessions. It's their calm, grounded energy that acts like a magnet for raw honesty. People are used to others filling silences with small talk, advice, or judgments, but spicy Lady Sigma females don't operate that way. Their silence isn't awkward. It's steady, neutral, and quietly observant. They create a space where others feel both seen and unjudged, and for some reason, that's all it takes for people to start pouring out their secrets. They'll confess their regrets, insecurities, or even mistakes they've never shared with anyone, often leaving the spicy Lady Sigma female as surprised as they are. What makes this dynamic so striking is that spicy Lady Sigma females rarely offer much in return during these moments. They don't interrupt, overreact, or give unsolicited advice. They simply listen. And that lack of interference gives people the freedom to keep going, spilling truths they didn't even know they were ready to share. Their presence acts as a mirror, reflecting back a sense of calm clarity that encourages others to confront their own thoughts. This ability is both a gift and a burden. On one hand, it allows them to connect deeply with people, gaining insights into what truly drives them. On the other hand, it can be overwhelming to constantly absorb the emotional weight of others without even trying. It's not something spicy Lady Sigma females seek out. It's something they unconsciously evoke simply by being who they are. Number 5, they predict outcomes like fortune tellers. Spicy Lady Sigma females have an uncanny knack for predicting outcomes that often leaves people baffled. It's not magic, but it might as well be. They possess an extraordinary ability to read situations, relationships, and decisions with a level of foresight that feels almost supernatural. They can outline the trajectory of events before they've even begun to unfold, as if they're operating with knowledge the rest of the world hasn't caught up to yet. This talent stems from their sharp observational skills and ability to connect us that others don't even realize exist. They pick up on patterns, subtle cues, and inconsistencies that most people miss. A tone of voice, a slight hesitation, a choice of words. These seemingly insignificant details all feed into their mental calculations. Their minds process possibilities and outcomes like a complex algorithm, quietly running scenarios until the likely conclusion emerges. When they voice their predictions, it can be unsettling. They'll casually call out what's about to happen or how a relationship will pan out with eerie accuracy. It's not about being smug or showing off. It's just a natural extension of how they see the world. To others, this might come across as a sixth sense, but for spicy Lady Sigma females, it's simply the product of their intense focus and analytical mind. What makes this ability so impactful is that it's rarely wrong. Over time, people around them start to notice that their hunches are more than just guesses. Whether it's foreseeing the collapse of a plan, the betrayal of a friend, or the success of an unconventional idea, they always seem a step ahead. To some, this foresight is impressive. To others, it's unnerving. But for spicy Lady Sigma females, it's just another day of seeing what others can't or won't see. We appreciate you, Rare Gems, for being a treasured subscriber. Your consistent support is vital to us and fuels our passion for delivering meaningful content. Thank you for your engagement and encouragement. Number 6, they stay one step ahead. Always, spicy Lady Sigma females have an almost eerie ability to stay ahead of the curve. It's not luck or some supernatural gift. It's the result of their relentless observation and analytical thinking. They don't just go through life reacting to what's happening. They're constantly thinking several steps ahead. Every conversation, every interaction, and every scenario is quietly dissected in their mind, leaving little room for surprises. This foresight can feel unsettling to those around them, as if she's operating on a level of awareness others can't quite reach. What sets them apart is their knack for picking up on subtle patterns and cues that most people overlook. The way someone phrases their words, the timing of their actions, or even the pauses in a conversation. These are all data points she processes almost instinctively before you've even decided what to do. She's already worked out your options, predicted your choice, and prepared her next move. It's not about manipulation or control. It's about preparation. Spicy Lady Sigma females hate being caught off guard, so they make sure they rarely are. This constant mental chess game can leave others feeling exposed or outmatched. It's hard to get one over on someone who's already anticipated your strategy, whether it's in personal relationships, work, or conflict. A spicy Lady Sigma female's ability to see what's coming gives her a distinct advantage, and the unsettling part is she doesn't flaunt it. Her moves are subtle, calculated, and often invisible until they're already in play. For those who misunderstand her, this foresight can feel almost predatory, like she's always watching and waiting. But for her, it's simply a survival mechanism. Staying one step ahead isn't about winning. It's about ensuring she never loses, and in her world, that distinction makes all the difference. Number 7, they are too comfortable in the dark. Spicy Lady Sigma females have an undeniable connection to the dark, both the literal and the figurative. They're the ones who thrive in moments when the world feels still, like the quiet hours after midnight when most people are asleep. For them, the dark isn't something to fear. It's a sanctuary, a place where their thoughts can run free and uninterrupted. In those moments, they find clarity, creativity, and a sense of calm that daylight rarely offers. But it's not just the physical dark they're comfortable with. Spicy Lady Sigma females are equally drawn to the shadowy corners of life, the difficult truths, the unspoken thoughts, and the emotions most people are too afraid to face. They don't shy away from heavy topics or uncomfortable conversations. Instead, they lean in, exploring ideas and feelings that others would rather keep buried. To them, the darkness is where authenticity lives, where people drop the masks and reveal their true selves. Discomfort with the dark can make them seem unsettling to others. Most people avoid what's hidden in the shadows, preferring the safety of the surface. But spicy Lady Sigma females have no interest in superficiality. They crave depth, even if it means venturing into uncomfortable or taboo territory. Whether it's delving into the complexities of human behavior, questioning societal norms, or simply enjoying the solitude of a dimly lit room, their ease in the dark sets them apart. To some, this might feel eerie, like they see beauty in places most would rather ignore. But to them, the dark is where life's raw, unpolished truths reside. It's not a place of fear, but of exploration and growth. Their comfort there isn't a sign of detachment. It's proof of their willingness to embrace what others can't or won't. Number 8, they intentionally leave gaps in conversations. Spicy Lady Sigma females have a way of communicating that can leave people both intrigued and unsettled. They don't feel the need to spell everything out. Instead, they speak in a way that leaves room for interpretation, intentionally leaving gaps in their conversations. It's not random or careless, it's deliberate. They know that by saying less, they can make others say more. When they talk, their words often feel like riddles, fragments of a larger picture that they refuse to paint for you. They might stop mid-thought, drop a provocative statement without elaborating, or let silence hang in the air longer than feels comfortable to most people. This feels unnatural. Conversations are supposed to flow, to be complete. But spicy Lady Sigma females don't care for conventional rules. They understand that the unspoken often says more than the spoken. This habit creates an undeniable air of mystery. People find themselves leaning in, trying to decipher what the spicy Lady Sigma female meant or where she was going with her thought. The gaps she leaves behind act like mirrors, reflecting the listener's own thoughts, assumptions, or insecurities. In trying to fill in the blanks, people often end up revealing more about themselves than they intended to. Some may feel like this approach is manipulative, as if the spicy Lady Sigma female is deliberately drawing them out while staying guarded herself. But to her, it's just her natural way of communicating. She values precision and doesn't feel the need to over-explain. The result is a dynamic that keeps people on their toes, always guessing, always wondering, and often unintentionally revealing far more than they planned. Number 9, they predict outcomes like fortune tellers. Spicy Lady Sigma females have an uncanny knack for predicting outcomes that often leaves people baffled. It's not magic, but it might as well be. They possess an extraordinary ability to read situations, relationships, and decisions with a level of foresight that feels almost supernatural. They can outline the trajectory of events before they've even begun to unfold, as if they're operating with knowledge the rest of the world hasn't caught up to yet. This talent stems from their sharp observational skills and ability to connect dots that others don't even realize exist. They pick up on patterns, subtle cues, and inconsistencies that most people miss. A tone of voice, a slight hesitation, a choice of words. These seemingly insignificant details all feed into their mental calculations. Their minds process possibilities and outcomes like a complex algorithm, quietly running scenarios until the likely conclusion emerges. When they voice their predictions, it can be unsettling. They'll casually call out what's about to happen or how a relationship will pan out with eerie accuracy. It's not about being smug or showing off. It's just a natural extension of how they see the world. To others, this might come across as a sixth sense, but for spicy Lady Sigma females, it's simply the product of their intense focus and analytical mind. What makes this ability so impactful is that it's rarely wrong. Over time, people around them start to notice that their hunches are more than just guesses. Whether it's foreseeing the collapse of a plan, the betrayal of a friend, or the success of an unconventional idea, they always seem a step ahead. To some, this foresight is impressive. To others, it's unnerving. But for spicy Lady Sigma females, it's just another day of seeing what others can't or won't see. Number 10, they mirror others perfectly. Spicy Lady Sigma females have an almost eerie ability to mirror the people around them. It's not something they consciously plan, it's instinctive. Within moments of being in someone's presence, they can effortlessly adapt to that person's energy, mannerisms, speech patterns, and even their unspoken rhythm. It's as if they've momentarily stepped into that person's identity, reflecting their essence back at them with unnerving accuracy. What makes this so striking is how seamless it feels. They don't overdo it or make it obvious. It's subtle but potent, like looking into a polished version of yourself. This mirroring isn't about manipulation or trying to gain an upper hand. It's how spicy Lady Sigma females naturally connect and understand others. They tune into the unique frequency of a person, not to mimic them, but to decode who they truly are. This ability often leaves people both fascinated and unsettled. On one hand, it creates an instant sense of understanding and rapport. The person feels seen, as though the spicy Lady Sigma female gets them on a level most people never do. On the other hand, it can feel a bit uncanny. The precision with which they reflect someone's personality can make it seem like they've slipped into their skin, if only for a moment. What's even more intriguing is that spicy Lady Sigma females don't lose themselves in this process. While they can mirror others perfectly, they remain firmly rooted in their own identity. They don't adopt someone's traits, they reflect them. It's a tool for understanding, a way to navigate the complexities of human interaction. But for the person being mirrored, it can feel like they're being exposed, understood, and perhaps even studied, all in the same breath. Being a spicy Lady Sigma female means walking a path that isn't always understood by others. The traits that set you apart, the piercing gaze, the uncanny ability to predict outcomes, the instinctive mirroring, may come off as unsettling to some, but they are also your greatest strengths. These behaviors aren't about being creepy. They're a reflection of your depth, intelligence, and your unique way of navigating the world. You see and understand life on a level that many can't, and that's not something to apologize for. You weren't built to fit into the mold society tries to place around you. Your instincts and insights give you a quiet power that others can't help but notice, even if they don't fully grasp it. These traits may make people uncomfortable, but that's because you challenge them to see themselves and the world differently. You hold a mirror to the truth, raw and unfiltered, and not everyone is ready for that. So embrace the complexity that makes you who you are. Those so-called creepy tendencies are actually the markers of someone who is fiercely independent, deeply aware, and impossible to manipulate. You're not here to fit in or seek approval. You're here to live authentically, and that takes courage. If this resonates with you, take a moment to celebrate the rare and powerful individual you are. And if you want to dive deeper into understanding your unique nature and why it matters, stick around for the rest of this video. Let's unpack what makes you extraordinary, even when the world isn't ready for it. Stay true to yourself, because the world needs more people who aren't afraid to stand out. Take care, and see you in our next video. God bless.